So the company Telesin's kindly sent me out these ND filters for the newly released DJI Osmo Action 6. Let's take them out of the box and take a closer look at them. So straight out the box there, you can see we've got 4 ND filters. First of all, we've got that CPL filter at the bottom. Now that's going to be to reduce any glare off any glass or water. And then we've got the ND8, the ND16, and then finally the ND32. So it doesn't matter which one I fix to the Action 6, as they're all the same size. Obviously the ND8, the 16, and 32, they're going to look different, as you'll see later on in the video, as well as that CPL filter. So we'll just grab one at random. We'll go with the ND16 there. And just before you fix them, they've got this film on each one of them, so you just need to peel this off. And now on these ND filters, we've got the brand in there, Telesin, and then on the opposite side, you'll be able to see which one you're grabbing there. And if you can see just around the inside, that's got a rubber mount, because that's just going to slot straight over this grooved area on the Action 6. So once again, you don't have to take this lens off and then screw these on. These are just going to pop straight on. And when they do, they're on nice and secure and they're not going to come off. And now that's going to be the same principle no matter what ND filter or CPL you've put on there. And now I'm just going to put the CPL filter on. Once again, it's just the exact same, but I just want to show you there because the ND filters are exactly the same. We don't need to put all those on. We'll just grab that CPL down there. Once again, we need to take this off. And now where this CPL filter differs, obviously this is to reduce any glare and reflection off water or glass. But you'll see there's a white mark there. So you need that white mark at the top, first of all. And then once that's on, just like the ND filter, you'll be able to twist this round. And then that's where you'll be able to see the differences, which I'll show you later on in the video. And every time you apply an ND filter, always make sure you've got a lens cleaning cloth there, because they are difficult not to touch as you're putting them on and off there. So always make sure there's no fingerprints on when you start filming. Right, so now you know how to fix the ND filters to the Action 6. Let's get outside and do some testing. Here we go. Right, now I'm outside and luckily we've got a really bright lit sunny day. There's no clouds whatsoever today. So it's going to be great to test out the right ND filter in today's lighting conditions. So what you're viewing right now is automatic mode, straight out the box, standard D-Warp 4K 30. So just before I apply the ND filters, we're going to dial in manual mode, the basic settings there. So we're going to switch over to manual, get the ISO as low as it can go, which will be 100 on this camera. And then we're going to set that shutter speed to double the frame rate. So I'm filming in 4K 30, so the shutter speed is going to be set to 60. And then a good indication that you've got the right ND filter on the day is keep an eye on the EV values there. You don't want to go below -3 and you don't want to go any higher than +3. The sweet spot will be either -3 or 0, but on a day like today I would imagine -3 is what I'm going to aim for. So now I'm going to switch over to manual mode. We'll keep those settings dialed in like I've just said. I'll apply ND8 and I'll let you know what the EV values are. Here we go. So now you can see I've switched over to manual mode. Again, that shutter speed's at 60, ISO at 100. And now I'm going to tell you what the EV value is when I apply the ND8. So I'll just have to go to the back of the camera because it doesn't say it on the front screen. So the EV values there are at -3. So on paper with the ISO down to 100 and that shutter set to 60 and the EV value there at -3, on paper that would be the right conditions for this ND filter. So what does the overall picture quality look like with the ND8 attached there with those settings dialed in? Again, we're at -3 on the EV values. I'll step out of frame and just take a look at the water behind there and the blue sky. So now you've just viewed the ND8 filter, now we're going to step it up to ND16, and again I'll let you know the settings I use. Here we go. And now you can see this is way too dark at ND16 because that EV value now is at -1. So I'm going to have to ramp up the ISO to make it usable. I'll step out the frame again and you can see it's a bit too dark to be fair. Well, for me viewing it on these tiny screens that does look dark. Maybe when I get it on my monitor later it's usable, I'm not sure, I'm just telling you in real time now. So now ISO's down at 100, but you can see it's way too dark. So I'm going to ramp that up now and then I'll let you know what I've ramped it up to. And now I can see on the small screen at the front that looks a lot more usable and brighter. than when that ISO was down at 100 and the -1 on the EV value. Now we're back to EV value is set to 0 and the ISO's at 200 and the shutter speed's at 60. So that looks a lot more usable dialed in with those settings than the previous ISO at 100. So that's what ND16 looks like. Shutter speed 60, ISO 200 and the EV value at 0 there. And now I'll step out of frame. As you can see, that looks a lot more pleasing to the eye than when I first put it on with the ISO at 100. Looking at the back of the screen, that does look rather usable. So now I'm going to switch over to the ND32. I'm going to keep them same settings there, ISO 200. It's going to be interesting to see now what happens there. I'll talk you along as I do it. So now I'm going to switch over to ND32. And now I've applied the ND32 and that's way too dark. Just looking at the back of the camera there, the EV value is at -1.3. Again, we're at shutter speed 60 and ISO at 200. So we're going to have to ramp up the ISO right now. As you see, when I step out of the frame, that's way too dark. So now I'm just going to go around the back and change the ISO settings and I'll let you know what I've done. And now you can see it is a little darker there, ND32, but the ISO is now ramped up to 400. The EV value is now set to -3 and the shutter speed remains at 60. And that's a lot more usable than at ISO 200. So with the ND32 on, I think we can get away with ISO 400. I say it's really challenging to see today because it's so bright, but I think we can get away with ND32, ISO set to 400, shutter speed 60, and the EV value there sitting nicely at -3. I'll just move out of the way so you can see the overall image behind me. And as I'm looking at the back of the screen, it looks a lot darker than obviously the rest of them for obvious reasons. But it is a super bright day today and it's reading -3 there on the EV values. So I'm happy with that picture. And now I've switched back over to automatic mode. I've took all the ND filters off there. And as you can see, the colour profile with the DJI cameras are really usable, even without manual settings and ND filters there. They've come a long way over the years. And just to let you know, I've left that variable aperture on the Action 6 there in automatic mode. I have been freezing that and locking it in at the traditional f-stop 2.8 like on all Action cameras, because I find when I compare it with other Action cameras, I leave it in the automatic mode like it's in right now, that aperture's opening and closing on its own, and it's not great when you're comparing cameras. But on its own, it's nice to experiment there. In my previous videos, like I said, when I'm comparing cameras, I'm starting to now lock that in at the traditional 2.8. I've just done a side-by-side comparison with Action 6 versus the Ace Pro 2, and on that one, that's where I locked in that f2.8 to match alongside the Ace Pro 2 there. So now you're viewing that variable aperture in automatic mode, and that f-stop's at 3.2 right now. And if I keep my eye on it, I bet it's going to change like it just does now. We're now at the f-stop 4. So on its own, I don't mind, but when I'm comparing it, I really don't like to do that because I don't find it a fair comparison when I've got one aperture open and closing and then the other one's fixed there at 2.8. So always apply that basic rule of thumb there, keeping that ISO as low as it can go on the camera. Get that shutter speed double of your frame rate, example 4K 30, 60 shutter speed there. And always keep an eye on the EV values, don't let it drop between -3 and don't let it exceed +3. On days like this, happily sits around -3. Keep them settings dialed in and go through each ND filter there to see which one's the best. And ideally, like I said, you want to keep ISO as low as it can go without raising it as much. Get around -3 on a bright lit sunny day on the EV values and shutter speed at 60. Dial them in and then go through your ND filters to see which one looks best there. So as long as you keep those basic settings drilled in there in manual mode, you'll be able to fluctuate between each ND filter to see which is the best there. But keep in mind, the higher the ND strength you go, the higher the number there, you're going to have to mess around with that ISO. But keep a close eye on your EV values. So now I've come to the water's edge to apply this CPL filter. I'm in automatic mode. And now I've got that CPL filter. So while you're viewing it recording, I'll just put it straight on top. So just keep an eye on the reflection in the water there. And with this CPL filter, you'll see that white mark there. And when you apply it, that'll be in its fully working state, as you can see. Just keep an eye on the reflection here. Now you can see that's made it a lot darker. And then as I twist it while it's on, it opens up, as you can see. Again, I'm fully locked it out. And then I've opened it up again. So when I fully open it up like now, you can really see a difference to when it's fully closed, which is now. So when it's fully open like that, that's what I'm seeing with my naked eye. And then when I close it, which is that takes away the reflection there. So as always, do stay tuned to the channel, as there's going to be plenty more videos on the horizon, especially with testing out this newly released Action 6. And if you're interested in buying these ND filters, I'll be leaving a link in the description, and there you'll be able to receive 10% off when you enter the coupon code. But for now, thanks for watching, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and bye for now.